Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Teltonika Networks webinar. And I think we can start this webinar. So 2020, a year in review. Today, I'm not alone on this webinar. My name is Taras. Who doesn't know me? I'm Operational Marketing Project Executive at Teltonika Networks. And today with me is my colleague, my friend, and the head of Operational Marketing team, Marius Navickas. So hello, Marius.
Hi, everybody. I hope you can hear me, and it's really lovely to see such a big audience. We have more than 170 attendees, and I really hope that that today's webinar is going to be as interesting for you as it was for us whilst preparing material for it. So, a year in review. First of all, just quick and short agenda. What points are we going to touch today? We're going to speak about some goals and obviously challenges that were very evident in the year 2020. Then we're going to touch a little bit on how important a global presence and a global expansion is to our brand and business, and obviously review some of the highlights of our product portfolio expansion that happened last year. Of course, mentioning some future plans and some ideas that we have for 2021. So, taking a step back, I really want to say that I'm quite a fan of motorsports. So for me, the year 2020 began pretty standard with Dakar Rally, which is an annual off-road endurance event that's been held in dozens of countries throughout its history, was hosted in Saudi Arabia last year. But throughout 2020, we've seen not only fun sporting events, but many troubling events as well: political unrests, protests against tyrant regimes, and various social groups across the world rising to fight injustice and speak loudly about important issues. The nature didn't make 2020 easy for some as well. We've seen biblical swarms of locusts across Africa, unprecedented wildfires across the United States, Australia, and other locations. And with the amount of disturbing events, one might think that there's no more room left for challenges in a single year. But you all know, then COVID happened, and here we can see the beginning of a new hospital construction in China, which was also unprecedented. I think they completed within a week. So there's no secret. The pandemic has touched everybody, affected the way we live, the way we work, the way we appreciate social interactions. And some months, things got better. We adapted and we made the most out of the freedom that was safe. We found new ways to entertain ourselves, new ways to celebrate birthdays over Zoom, new ways to own the situation around us and make the most of it. Cities got empty, like a perfect scene for a doomsday movie set, but we found joys and other small challenges of being closer to our families, even when we are at work. In fact, life didn't stop, and people kept chasing their dreams, even stronger, I'd say. And here in this slide, we see Maya Gabeira from Brazil on the biggest wave ever ridden by a woman and the biggest wave surfed by anyone during the 1920 winter season. And in my opinion, this is a great symbol of the amount of challenges we and every single one of you were facing last year. So what did 2020 bring to Teltonika Networks? Right, let's look at the facts. We've hit our sales targets of more than 43 million euros. And even though they were formed before the pandemic and any supply chain issues that affected everyone globally, we've shown a healthy 46% revenue growth, and we have even more expanded our sales geography, shipping to 140 countries. At the same time, we managed to grow our headquarter team by more than 45%, which didn't only help last year's result, but is a strong foundation for this year as well. Let's take a look at some things that led to this positive result. So not being able to do expos or partner events or simple business trips, we quickly adapted to work completely online. Even better, we managed to boost our team's efforts even due to even more, simply due to a healthy internal help culture, and we took these challenges with creativity. Just to name a few things, we started much more active newsletter campaigns. We started hosting these webinars, which were and still are really popular. So big thanks for you for attending them and finding them useful. Of course, we had some important structural changes which led to Teltonika Networks to become its own legal entity under the ownership and guidance of Teltonika IoT Group, but Tadas will expand on this later. And finally, we put a huge emphasis on sales and component planning, and of course, on expanding our market share with new partners. Now, let's take a look at some COVID-related external factors that played an important role, simply because, you know, this pandemic is a huge elephant in the room. And, you know, when we evaluate the past, we really cannot take it out of context. Due to the economic turbulences, many countries and institutions introduced additional funding to boost the economies, considerable part of which was directed towards infrastructure. A big part of this has and will have IoT solution components, out of which connectivity is essential. Work from home in itself was a big challenge for system administrators and enterprises due to availability and security concerns. Our product features and price point allowed us to capture multiple opportunities in this field. Some businesses, especially in travel industry, for example, hotels, took this hit as an opportunity to use vacant premises and do upgrades, which boosted the demand for networking equipment and LTE backup as well, while hotels were simply, you know, renovating their IT infrastructure along with perhaps the cosmetic appearance of their establishments. And obviously, with people struggling to manage infrastructure in person, the demand for remote management and monitoring solutions truly skyrocketed. It was meant to happen anyway. COVID just accelerated the shift to invest in smart solutions that allow to manage crucial infrastructure remotely. Finally, due to the same reasons, many found new business opportunities driven by changed consumer habits. This reflected heavily on the big increase of self-service solutions, including vending and self-service parcel terminals. And of course, one of the things these solutions have in common is reliable and secure connectivity. The conclusion is really rather simple. We, together with all of you, together with our partners, are faced with challenges, but even more so with big opportunities, since COVID has accelerated the demand for remote solutions and has had a positive impact on infrastructure renovation. Putting together our strengths with the incredible creativity and dedication of our partners, we have a bright future ahead. Now, let's hear more from Tadas, and he will talk more about our global focus and products that were released last year.
So thank you, Marius, for the first and very interesting part. So I would like to talk about the global presence. And let me start by, there is no doubt that certificates are a must to be successful globally. As our manufacturer is located in European Union, firstly, we receive CE certification, and in other regions for products to be legally imported, we apply for certifications such as FCC, for example, for the US market. Sometimes certification is not enough, and we have to meet the requirements of mobile operators and receive their approval. The best example would be AT&T and Verizon Wireless in the US. These steps are necessary to gain a key to open the specific markets. Last year, we have opened the doors to different global markets like Japan, Australia, Indonesia, Brazil. In the US market, Route X11 received FCC and PTCRB certifications, also AT&T and Verizon Wireless approvals. Let me show you how you can easily find these certificates for our products by yourself. Firstly, visit Teltonika Networks Wiki knowledge base. At the front page, you will see this information. Just click on the marked name certificates, and here you are with all listed products and specified certifications and approvals. Just click on the specific bar and you will find all the documents. As Mars mentioned, we have divided our business units into 4 companies. As we are separate companies now, we are capable to maximize our efficiency by being even more flexible towards our partners and offering you the best products and the best support. With collective knowledge, power, and investment in production, the Teltonika IoT Group is capable to provide the best solutions for you in multiple fields. In 2020, we have established new offices in Morocco, Vietnam, Malaysia, Russia, and Australia. We kept our promises to be closer to our customers, and we are very glad to have our offices in 18 different countries around the world. We speak your language and provide the local sales, stock, and technical support to help to you in any situation. Our playground has exceeded more than 140 countries around the world, where we have sold our products last year. We have strong ambitions, I should say. That's why we are at Teltonika, to paint this whole world map in blue in the very near future. Now, let me remind you about a few products. Last year, we have launched 5 new products, which you can see in this slide. We began with TRB245 and TRB255, small but powerful industrial cellular gateways with serial Ethernet and inputs and outputs interfaces. They have only one difference, their connectivity type. TRB245 4G LTE Cat4 and TRB255 device has NB IoT Cat-M1 and 2G. These devices already helped our partners to succeed in big projects for remote monitoring and control. They are especially successful in industrial sector due to small size and multiple physical interfaces. Last year, we made the first step into the market of switches. We introduced our first unmanaged industrial switch, TSW100, with PoE on 4 Ethernet ports, which can provide up to 30 watts of power per port. As our partners in their solutions were using different vendors, now they can have a single vendor for mobile router and a switch. This device is just the first one of many switches in the future. In 2020, we also presented to the market our first and only router, Route X12, with 2 independent 4G LTE Cat6 mobile modems, working with 2 SIM cards simultaneously, so the router could reach the best possible throughput with load balancing feature. Route X12 has probably the best functionality and price ratio in the world between routers with 2 mobile modems. Customers select this device where more speed and 0 downtime is required. One more first from Teltonika Networks, Route XR1. With this router, we step into enterprise class level devices market. Rack-mountable router with SFP and console ports, alongside with Wi-Fi and USB connection with 4G LTE Cat6 module and dual SIM functionality and redundant power supplies. Just imagine, you have a small store and you are using a switch, an access point for the Wi-Fi, a router, SFP converter, and additional cellular modem for the backup of the internet. Rootix R1 replaces 4 or 5 of those devices. It's all in one. As we developed our devices, we didn't forget to improve our own IoT platform, RMS. It has more features, faster, and more secure. It allows you to be in control of your connected solution. RMS consists of 3 main parts. RMS management gives you full control over your fleet of Teltonika Networks routers and gateways, ensuring their security and availability. Imagine when you need to update firmware to 2,000 routers. Without RMS, it would take days or even a weeks, but with RMS, it's just a matter of minutes. RMS Connect allows you to reach and control other smart devices remotely. With a single Teltonika Networks router or a gateway and RMS, you can directly access all Windows or Linux machines without even public IP or VPN, just if you would be sitting in front of them. RMS API helps you to take what you need from RMS and implement it into the IoT platform of your choice. And remember, with every single our device, you can test for free of all functionalities of RMS for 30 days. Now, Teltonika Networks portfolio consists of 22 different products and IoT platform for your solution. So I really would like to know which product do you see the most potential in your business? So let me push few buttons to start the poll. So now you should see the poll. Please vote for the best product. Do you see the most potential in your businesses, in your situations, in your countries? Because you are, as I mentioned, from different countries, from different regions, and it's really very, very interesting, I think, for us both, Maros, to know, and even for our CEO to know what our customers feels, what is the best product. Do you agree?
Yeah, for sure, Tadas. Well, we definitely have our own, let's say, favorites, and we like all of these new products, and we see major, already a major results with them, and even bigger opportunities. But like Tadas mentioned, having so many of you from so many different corners of the world is just an amazing opportunity to find out, what products you see helping your business and your targets in 2021, especially the most. So yeah, um, I don't see a survey progress, but I hope that you can find it. Um, I hope that you can use the poll functionality.
Yeah, I see, Maros, they are finding now
Okay.
53% of our attendees are already voted. So just let's wait a couple more seconds, not minutes. As you mentioned, you don't have, let's say, the most popular from these routers. But for me, especially, I have one, and I would, bet all my chips on that router, especially because I represented it. I made a webinar for it, and I truly believe that it's a very, very unique router with all the functionalities. So I think we can finish the poll because almost 60% of you have voted. And let's see the poll results. So do you see, Marius, the poll results?
No, actually, it's like some kind of a, I think, Zoom conflict. So I guess you
Okay,
should
so
tell that loudly. What do we have?
yeah, we have, as I bet all my chips on that router, root X12. And, got 42% of your votes. So how do you explain these results, Marius?
Well, I think, and bear in mind, like RETX 12 is definitely one of the highlights of last year, simply because it's our first product with dual LTE, and I know that the market was asking us to provide that for quite some time, but brilliant things take a minute to develop, and I'm really glad that RETX 12 really took off. what you mentioned and what do I want to highlight is that, of course, we are biased. That's natural, but uh, from what we see, it is certainly the most valuable dual LTE professional industrial device in the market. And it might just as well find its way into very mission critical connectivity scenarios, where you don't need throughput but you need very reliable connectivity. But at the same time, at the very on a different end of the spectrum, we're seeing that the X12 is really fulfilling a small gap in our portfolio which we had in terms of speed, because more and more solutions, even small office infrastructure, is choosing wireless and cellular instead of cable, because it's become cheaper, it's become more available, it's quicker to install, you can deploy day one connectivity, and as you all know, being fast in business is sometimes the difference between being first and the last. So I think that um, our audience's opinion is really in line of our expectations. But perhaps you can say like the whole ranking just out of curiosity.
Yeah, definitely. So 26% goes to Root X R1,
Mhm.
20% to Tier B 245, and for Tier B 255, 5%, and for the Switch TSW 100, 7%. So variety of votes as we expected, because you are working in different fields, in different markets, in different countries. So we see that, our portfolio has been increased and will be increased in the future. So talking about the future, I will give my word to Marius to speak about what's waiting from Teltonika Networks on 2020.
Thanks, Tadas. I will switch on my screen share in just a second. Just before that, I wanted to give a little bit of spotlight to the TSV 100 as well, simply because this switch is certainly a niche device, simply due to the fact that it's got PoE. Now, this niche is really rather big, and from the sales of TSV 100, we are seeing that it was very well received. But of course, if your solutions don't require PoE-enabled switches, it's not going to be relevant. But in a few slides, I'll tell you a bit more about our portfolio directions, and you'll see that we're going to step out of, let's say, moderately sized niche of TSV 100 and branch out to a bit more wider non-cellular device applications. So, screen okay, Tadas? Yes?
Yes, perfect, Marius.
All good. Right, so what about 2021? Let's talk about the future. Well, the present, in fact. Our focus remains unchanged. It will be just even more aggressive and concentrated. And the important accents are increasing our focus on global markets with more product certifications, with more devices that address the specific needs of different markets, emerging markets perhaps, and getting our brand more known outside Europe as well. Of course, in standard Teltonika fashion, we have even more ambitious targets. But like they say, mm, let's count everything at the end of the year. Right now, we have to put in the effort. We will aim to achieve those targets by accelerating the pace at which we grow our portfolio. And as you see, we have 10 devices planned for this year, but personally, I'm hoping we might have even more. And important thing that we want to share with all of you is the direction of our portfolio expansion. So with industrial cellular devices, with professional cellular devices, we have a good market share. In fact, it places us within the top 5 providers globally, but we know we can have much more growth here. And for this reason, we will launch devices that are faster, have different form factors, suitable for outside conditions, and we even have something lined up for the consumer market, which is definitely a new thing for us. Hold tight. Now, what's really interesting is the non-cellular device, let's say, part. This is our true untapped potential. And we began with this industrial switch topic with TSV 100 that we just spoke about a couple of minutes ago. But you should expect more products to have more comprehensive industrial switch portfolio from us. Same with industrial and enterprise routers, is that our goal is to offer you and the market everything you need for a professional network deployment. And just in case you missed, it's been busy January, and just last year we've launched 2 new devices already, and coincidentally they represent those both portfolio directions I just mentioned in the earlier slides. So you can check all of that on our web. You'll see the product videos, you'll see the news articles, but in case you missed, the RET360 is a simple, small, capable LTE Cat6 router, which follows in the footsteps of our bestseller RET240, and is going to be even a bigger pain for our competitors. And on the right, we have TSV 110. And this is what you can call a dark horse, 5-port unmanaged industrial Ethernet switch. There is, well, massive demand for this type of product. And, we bring it with industrial features, with very, let's say, environmentally resistant casing hardware. So resistant to temperatures, resistant to shocks, vibrations, DIN rail mountable, all that you need for a truly industrial switch. And make sure you get a quote from our managers to see another big reason why it should be very successful. Now, finally, let's not forget about the remote management system. Tadas mentioned in detail that last year it evolved from being an advanced device management platform to an IoT platform with incredible functionality of RMS Connect. I mean, being able to reach any smart device, being able to reach any desktop or other computer with Windows or Linux, it just opens up incredible amounts of opportunities. And we will have some exciting news to share with you in the very near future that will even more strengthen RMS position as a fully fledged IoT platform. And one thing that you got to remember is our products are great, but once you synergize the functionality of RMS and other of our connectivity devices, it just brings it to a whole nother level. To finish, I simply want to say a huge thanks to you all, to all our partners and the huge community of our device users and fans. You are simply the reason we can build today's and tomorrow's connected IoT solutions together. So thank you, Tadas, and thanks everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
See you soon.